What's up, traders? Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to do a trade review. This was an 80-point trade, 5 M&Q, something I preach all the time. You don't have to trade a lot of risk to make a good amount of money. So if you're a funded trader, if you're someone trying to use Apex or any one of the other, funded trader companies, and you're constantly blowing up, the style that you should be using, especially if you're a newbie. So I have up to 250 points of error. If this was an evaluation account, it's not in this case. But if you're in that stage, you have a ton of room for error and you can still have these huge wins. This was an $820 trade. Also, want to call out negative attitudes, which I always do. I had somebody, actually another trader, come onto my channel and try and tell me basically that I had a lack of credibility, or basically just bringing negativity to the style of the videos. Guys, I do this content for one reason only, and that's because it is a passion of mine. I'm not trying to prove myself to anybody in particular. If you want to see, how good I am as a trader, you can join the Discord. Yeah, we trade live every single day. So while I don't put up all the stats and everything here on my YouTube channel, I have videos where I have done that. We're going to pop open this trade in particular just because, but that doesn't matter, right? When it comes to trading, execution is everything, and your ability to formulate a plan and execute on that plan is what is going to make you a good trader. Getting into an ego battle with other people is not going to make you a good trader, which is why it's something I'm just not interested in. And I always laugh because people put so much effort into trying to, get internet points or kudos, talking about trading theory and things like that, when it's completely irrelevant. The only thing that matters is your P&L, and you know what it is. The other thing, people who are better than you will never try to tear you down. So if you feel like you want to say something, know your place. But we're not going to do the video right here. We're going to jump over to the other side of my office and take a look at how to make 80 points in one trade. Let's do it. Screen recording is here. Awesome. Real quick, for those of you that are new here, my name is Forrest. I invest in stuff. I'm a day trader, primarily trading futures, NQ, and ES. I also trade options. I do every type of trading, honestly, at this point, but we mostly talk about futures trading, binary trades on this channel, because your ability to pinpoint an entry and an exit really are key to whatever trading style that you're doing. If you're doing options, for example, in addition to your entry and exit, you also need to account for time, theta, gamma, delta, all of these other things, which will either erode or exponentially magnify your P&L up. So how do we decide what we want to trade here? Looking at this trade here on the screen, again, use Trade Zella. I've done this in many of my videos highlighting trades. It's just journaling software. You upload your trades. It has connections to all types of different software. I don't have an affiliate with them. I pay them. It's kind of expensive, but totally worth it. Do not be afraid to invest in yourself as a trader. On this trade, if we actually look at it, you can see my net P&L was $820. This is a trade from Thursday, December 21st. And what did I do here? So I longed overnight. We can see that on the 20th, we had this big sell-off. There was a pretty big imbalance, and I'm going to hop over to TradingView to actually review this because that's where I trade. But we can see here that I got in and I started to actually ladder in an entry. So I got in here for M&Q after the open. So we sold off. We started to come up a little bit. I missed the open a little bit. I was at the gym or something. I can't remember. Then I bought in for M&Q, and I already had this plan, and this is key. I had this plan already. I intended to enter this trade because I had a thesis that we were going to reclaim this sell-off. I already had that. We're in a major uptrend still. We had a huge sell-off at the end of the day. You can see it was very, very aggressive. A lot of volume coming in here on the sell. And so I had this thesis. And so go ahead and write this down. Having a plan before you trade is critical. And I truly mean that you need to write this down, guys. You need to trade with a plan. If you feel like you're trading incidentally or just trying to catch candle to candle, every time a candle forms, you feel like you're changing your mind, that's why you're failing as a trader. It's really, really hard to have a positive day or a green day when you're chasing price action. Now, obviously, we're going to read candles as they come in and update our thesis. But to be honest, most days before the market starts, I try to have an intuition or a plan about what I expect the day to do. And the further that the day gets from what I thought it was going to do, the less I trade. And I want to, it's okay, right? You don't have to trade every day. And it's really hard, especially when you're online or maybe you're trading with other people. And maybe those other people have a plan and they're able to trade their plan and you're not able to trade yours. That's okay as well, because if they're good traders, that means on days where your plan works out and their plan doesn't work out, the opposite comes into effect. We're all individuals. We all see different things in the market. A lot of times there's a ton of confluence. Sometimes there's going to be divergence, but it's going to happen. Even if it's just sometimes, it will happen, and you have to understand what that'll do to your psyche and trade accordingly. So in this trade, we can see here I got in at 16,801, and then I got to exit here. I did not pinpoint the top, which is key here. I got out at 16,884. So it's about an 83-point trade. We can see here with my staggered entries, it ended up being an $820 P&L. So let's actually go ahead and look at December 20th overnight price action in TradingView. If you haven't used TradingView before, this is just charting software. Again, not an affiliate with them or anything like that, but I use them for all of my charting. There's a few indicators on the screen. I'll quickly walk through them and then we can talk about the trade. So on the right, per usual, I have my volume profile highlighted here. This shows you volume at price. This is probably one of the most important indicators you can use. If you're not using this indicator, you need some other other way to answer this question, but that is where are people participating in the market? This shows you that exactly. We can change the amount of time that we're asking that question across. For example, where are people participating in the auction today? Where are they participating in the auction over the last 2 days or the last 3 days or the last month? So this is the visible range volume profile, and it updates based off of what the visible range is. So as I increase the range here, we will see that this will start to update and shift. On the right, it will recalculate. Fixed range volume profile. We also see that there is this volume profile for each session. So this one here, that is the session volume profile HD. It gives you the volume profile per session with the value area high, value area low, and the purple lines. And then we have the point of control in red. The point of control is the time in the market where the most participation happened. You can see here that the POC, the amount of volume here isn't markedly bigger than the rest, which is important. So analyzing these shapes is important to realizing how the auction played out. And let's actually go to that Thursday, the 20th, and see what we have here. Oh, the other indicators I have are the VWAP and its first and standard deviation bands. So I'm not going to, normally I will remove indicators when I do these videos, but this is what I actually trade with. My screen looks like this. It can look messy if you're not used to seeing all this. I will take things on and off sometimes just to give myself a different view as I'm trading. 9 times out of 10, 90% of the time, this is what my chart actually looks like when I'm trading. It's not naked. It's not too crazy. I do have 2 lines here. This 940 level has been key, as well as this 766 has been key. You see we bounced right off of it. 1 second, I'm running out of breath. Holy moly, we're 12 minutes in. I'm trying to be fast. Honestly, guys, these videos could be an hour. My older videos were way longer. I try to keep them as brief as possible for you all. All right, let's get back to it. So what happened here? We had this buy up here, and really what we'll notice here, this was key here on, what was this, Wednesday the 20th? This section here. So we had this section into a buy up. We had consolidation into a buy up. So I didn't even show this trade. I actually took this long as well. This was a great trade. I took this long the night before. We had a sell off. Myself, Sol, other traders in our Discord who you should meet. Go ahead, click the link below to join our Discord. If you want to get some Apex accounts, use my affiliate code. It'll give you 71% off right now. We were all expecting a return to at least this open naked POC here, right? That means a POC that hasn't been tested yet. So this line here, we were expecting us to sell off either to this line or to sweep this area. So a sweep means that we come through it. Do that again. So if we have this price here, for us to sweep this, we expect it to come through it. And I have this line at 940, which is a pretty key level. So I was like, all right, maybe we come to 940 and bounce. As soon as we didn't bounce at that 940, there was actually a flag on the 5-minute. As well. Let's go to the 5-minute on the 20th. If I recall this session correctly, I believe there was flag on the 5-minute. Maybe I'm thinking of a different price action, but we got down to, I just swore it was this session. I have too many sessions in my head. Sorry. But in any case, as soon as we broke this 940, that thesis fails. So you swap bias. This is something I talk about all the time. You swap your bias. I was long bias. I wanted to basically do a liquidity sweep bounce. That's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. You know, we came through this price action as well. At this point, you just go short. Also, there's a huge amount of volume here. The market topped out. We did a double top up here, topped out up here. We sold off, came through. The POC is way up here. So the auction's way up here. We're moving away from it fast. So you have to think of all this in the context, right? Primary point of the auction's here. We rejected this price and we're moving away from the auction very fast, swept the liquidity targets and went through this major support level. We're going down. We went all the way down. What's crazy is I called this in the Discord. I said, the only other line I have is 766. I think we're going to get to it. I was pretty unsure, but I should have trusted myself more because we just literally went right to it, right? 766. Pretty crazy. So I went short, caught some scalps on that session. That wasn't even the trade we're talking about. Remember, the trade that I'm talking about are these longs that I started to get into here. And then I rode this all the way up overnight into there. So why did I take those longs after we had this heavy sell-off? Well, if we take a step back at the macro environment, we're in a major uptrend, and I'm looking at the 4-hour right now. If I can find my chart, there we go. This is the 4-hour chart. I'm zooming. In the macro, we still have higher lows, higher highs, right? We bounced off, we're coming up. We should do a higher high. We had a nice bottom wick on the 4-hour, but we're getting in this rangy market. We've been in a rangy market. So I'm not expecting us to have a massive downside continuation. That's the gist of it. We had a huge sell-off, stopped a ton of people out. A ton of people got smoked who were just going long at the top after a bunch of green days, and they all got smoked. It's the perfect setup for a long. All of retail, bad traders, novice traders got smoked. And I personally am a max pain theory trader. I try to think what would hurt the most people and anticipate that is going to be the move. Try to think about what is the trap happiest trap? What is the best way to smoke the most people? There's a lot that goes into that. So we have this huge sell-off, stop out all the longs, and then go long once all the previous longs are smoked, and we just drifted up. We had this nice drift up price action. We've seen this a few times in the recent session, the recent market meta, if you will. There's a meta to the market, and just held that. Honestly, my actual trade thesis, and I'm mad I sold this when I did, was to hold this to 17,000 at least to 17,000. So I got in at, if we look here, what was my entry? Executions at 801. I got in at 801 and got out at 84. So at 801, oh, that's way down here. So I got in at 801, just down here, and got out at what, 84? 84, which is up here in this price area. But I think it actually maybe went higher and I missed that. But nice 80-point trade just with the drift up. Looking for, really my price target was for us to get back to this area. So we got up to there, right? You see, we actually came right up in this wick, right up to this 970, which is this prior structure. Why did you think that, Forrest? Well, it's because we had this huge move. There's a massive imbalance. There's a huge imbalance with this move. People call it fair value gaps, all these different things. You don't need a special name for it. You can just look at it. See, there's a huge imbalance here. The market moved through a lot of prices very fast. And if we look at the volume profile, there's not a ton of participation here, which is important, right? So the auction is not fairly balanced in these areas. There has not been enough time spent here recently for the auction to adjust these prices. So it makes sense that we would want to move back through it. That's not always the case, but again, I already talked about the macro environment, macro bullish, so waiting for a sweep of high targets, talked about it in other videos, blah, 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 blah. So that's what I'm expecting. All that gives me reason to just go long, make 800 bucks. Could I have went higher leverage on this? Of course, I could have went 5 in Q, and made $8,000, but didn't do that. I did 800, did that across my 20 accounts, which is a lot of money. For those of you who aren't aware, I'm an Apex trader. I trade those accounts. I have a ton of accounts that I trade. Basically, it doesn't really matter if you're trading one account or 20 accounts. Honestly, it honestly doesn't matter. Let's just ignore the leverage of funded accounts or anything. 800 bucks a day is a great amount of money. You should lower expectations and just aim for that. Aim for low risk. Trade with 5M&Q. Trade with MES. If you're not trading these products, or if you're trading other things, practice trading smaller amounts. Because if your P&L is a roller coaster where you're making like $5,000, then you're losing 4K, and you feel great, and then you feel terrible, you need to get your emotions more to the middle of that, right? You should feel good when you have good days. You'll kind of feel bad when you lose money, but you don't want to have that erratic price action, because what's going to happen is you're going to start chasing the rabbit. You're going to lose emotional control. You're going to start to zoom in. And I know because I've done all of these things. When you lose emotional control, you start chasing the rabbit. That's when you start chasing. You have 50, 60 trades in a session, and they're all red, right? Instead of just having, a 50% win rate, your win rate goes terribly wrong. Same, honestly, on the other side. If you have a ton of green in a day and you let that get away from you, you stop, forget about managing your risk because you think that you're the best trader alive, you're going to find out that you're not very, very quickly, and it's going to be painful. And I've seen so many people lose, like they have an amazing A+, S+ trade in the morning. S, for anybody who's not a gamer, is like better than A in the rating scale. It doesn't make any sense. They have an amazing trade and then they lose it all. They spend the rest of the day, they have one trade in like 5 minutes. They make an amazing amount of money. It's a perfect trade. And the rest of the day, all they do the rest of the day is literally just lose all of that money. So don't do that. Do not be that trader. So that was that trade. That was that setup. Again, an 80-point trade. Again, macro, if we just take a step back, I'll give you my quick thoughts on what I think of the macro. We talk about this at Discord all the time. I do think still that we're going to sweep the highs. Next week, I expect to be pretty slow. As of me filming this is actually Christmas Day. I'm filming this, which I know you probably think I'm crazy. Yeah, I expect this week to be pretty slow. It usually is. Maybe we get some crazy price action. I'm fine with missing it. I'm going to be watching the charts, but mostly I'm going to be trying to take some time to live my life and get ready for 2024. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope this was helpful, giving you a real example of another trade. If you have questions, join the Discord. We'd love to have you there. Again, love helping people. We cut our price in half. It's only $100 a month. We're going to keep it at that price. And we just created an affiliate program. So if you're worried about the fee, you can completely offset it by adding other people to the Discord. Obviously, you'll make money with trading. That's not a guarantee, but if you listen to us and trade, literally if you trade our call outs, you would cover the fee just fine. So I'll just throw that out there. But yeah, there's the affiliate program, all these other things that you can do as well. But more so, happy holidays, guys. Nothing but positive energy. I want to send your way some blessings. A little positive note, because I do believe in the power of, non-cliche, motivation. And I just want to say to you that like you can do it. Don't give up. You may feel like you failed, one time more than somebody who would be successful, but that's just not the case. We're all on our own path. Quitters never win and winners never quit. So you only lose if you give up. Don't give up. If you ever just need a positive word, hit me up. I'm here for it. Life is too short to spend a moment sad or in despair. See you in the next video. Peace.